The privilege. Okay, hey, I'm fine with the privilege. This gentleman here, I met probably almost 3 years ago, right? When I first got the job and coming into Newtown, one of my visions is we need to get businesses on Kings Road. It just sounded that simple. We need to get a supermarket on Kings Road. Sounded great. So I sat down with him, and then he smacked me around a little bit mentally, and he said, "Sir, it doesn't work that easily. You have to cultivate that to come about on Kings Road. You have to cultivate businesses." And he gave me an idea and gave me a spark of saying, look, you had a historical black college, the oldest historical black college in the state of Florida, 153 years old this year. So what are some of the resources that you have there to want people to bring their business to you? Because people open up the business to what? Being the black, not the red. So how can you convince individuals to do that? And he gave me the story, he gave me the plan. And one of the things that he said, if you can't fill the room up, then why even bother to do it? So that gave me a charge to fill the room up, to get individuals who want to start their own business, who have that desire, not just to sign the back of the check, but to sign the front of the check. And we need you guys to be signing that front of that check for other individuals in our community. So Dr. Robinson is that individual, in my opinion, is that change agent. And along with Ms. Dennis and Ms. Ford and other vision keepers, we support him and his ideas and his vision of what he sees our community can be, and more importantly, will be. So no further ado, I present Dr. Carlton Robinson.
How's everybody tonight?
Well,
First, I want to say thank you guys for having me. It's always an honor just to come out and share and hopefully contribute to the community. I see a lot more familiar faces, and I can say the last 3 times that I've been in here, this room has been this way. So I'm extremely and I know the biggest culprit is right here. So I'll just share a little bit of background for the people that I'm not familiar with. The reason that I was able to have that conversation with George 3 years ago is because for 4 years I served as the president of it was the First Coast African American Chamber of Commerce. And I think when you do this type of work and you get those positions, you have so much ambition. You want to do a lot of things. You want to really help the community. But to be honest with you, people just don't support you. Right? I'm just being honest with you. And so when I was at the African American Chamber, we did a lot of good work. We could have done so much more, but I just couldn't get the support that I needed. And the part of that support obviously is money and funding, but that's not the most important thing. The other support comes from people who are willing to volunteer and give back, right? So like you could want to do a lot individually, but you're not going to get anything accomplished unless you have people that are willing to volunteer, they have success, and now they want to come back and help someone. And for whatever reason, we just couldn't build enough of that at that time. And I had this idea that I came up with at the African American Chamber of Commerce, but I could not get enough support to actually launch the program. And then today, our best small business program, which is Jack's Bridges, we've had a lot of success. We're able to do a lot of great things with that. And I've always felt, I'm not gonna say I felt bad, but I felt like something was missing because I wasn't able to do it where I originally wanted to, And so when George came on board, and I told him, I said, I want to help you build infrastructure, right? So I don't want to build a program, I want to build infrastructure. So organizations like mine at the Chamber, we have resources. We're able to get things done that others can't because of relationships. But a lot of times what happens is a larger organization from outside the community comes in and people kind of see that as like something's wrong with that, right? Like you're coming from outside of our community, you say you want to help, you're trying to tell us how to do it your way, right? So I'm very sensitive to that. So when I met George, like I mean, we started planning this like 3 years ago. We were like, okay, here are all the things that we need to do. And here are all the people that we need to have involved. And here's what it will look like once people believe in what we're doing. And I told them then that it takes 18 to 24 months to set it up. Right, so let's think about that. 18 to 24 months to get all of those things in place, all the right people in place. And we were fortunate, JP Morgan Chase gave us some funding so we could help do this the right way. And when did I come in? First, was it like April?
April.
Okay, so April in a room like this, and I made my first pitch for the program. Now, my pitch was not coming in and saying, here's what we're gonna do. I didn't do that. Okay, I said, here's what we would like to do, and here are the types of people that we need to have involved. And then we came back, was a couple months later, and then that one was kind of more formal. I mean, other people needed to get in pictures and stuff. So there was the mayor here? So had the mayor's office, had President Glover, JP Morgan Chase, and I think I was over in the corner somewhere waiting to talk, but everybody, but that's part of the process, right? That's part of the process. So I think what we proposed back then is that we wanted to come in and we wanted to, even if there were only 5 or 6 people, okay, that went through the whole process with us, that we wanted those people to go through the process. I remember talking about business models versus business plans. And, I think we had a gentleman sitting here who told me that I was talking over the head of everybody in the room, that I needed to, bring it down. And I said, no. I said, if we're truly gonna be about helping and advancing communities, we don't wanna teach the things that are down here. How are we gonna help people get up here? We gotta have an education process where we help them to understand, right? And I got a couple calls after that meeting saying, you shouldn't be talking about business models, that's over the head of our people and all of this stuff. And I said, I don't think so. I said, we're gonna come in and it's our job to help educate and to teach. And whatever people don't understand, we gotta help them understand. And then when they get it, they're gonna teach another 2 or 3 people. And then that's how we kind of build a community. And there's nothing wrong with us saying, I'm not sure what that is. I promise you, at the chamber, we have lots of people that are saying the same thing, okay? And so, I think we had 7 people sign up, and we had 4 people finish. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think I promised, what did I promise on the pitch contest? What did I say, $1,500 or something like that? Mm-hmm. Okay, did I deliver on that?
You did.
Twice, right?
Exceeded.
I exceeded that twice, okay. I said that we give people an opportunity to pitch in front of corporations. Did I deliver on that?
Yeah.
Okay, and we probably met a lot of other small business owners within the program. So we had 4 people start here, and then 2 of you left here and entered into the Jacks Bridges program at the chamber. And then we had 2 additional, okay? And so to me, that is a huge success, okay? It's a huge success. Now, we still have more work to do, right? Because now all of them have to help the next group of people. And so I talked to Paul last week, and here's what I would like to do within the next 60 to 90 days, okay? So, number one, if we're gonna have good infrastructure and we're gonna truly develop small businesses, you kind of need a website. You need a good website, okay? I don't know what you call it, okay? New town, success zone, small business, I don't know, okay? But You need a website, you need a domain, and this needs to look nice. Okay? Now, and whoever we get to do it, they.
Nice professional.
Nice and professional. Okay, so when we have a room like this, people come in, we can send them to the website and tell them to sign up for something. Right there on their phone, right? So if we're truly gonna be about developing business, we have to have the ability to do that. So we're gonna need a website, we're gonna need, MailChimp for marketing. That way people can sign up when we send them, and then we have everybody's name. We're also gonna need an online classroom. And I think we can have William to manage the online classroom. We'll do Moodle.
Okay.
Okay. What else did I say, Paul?
You talked about the 2 lanes. One being for small business center. Well, one being general entrepreneurship. The other lane being Jack's Bridges.
Okay. So we'll come up with some paths. So if somebody comes in, let's say everybody came in tonight and Ms. Dennis said, okay, we want everybody to commit to something. Right? We want everybody to commit to being better. So we're gonna have, I want you to go here if you're gonna sign up and volunteer to help somebody else in small business. I want you to go here if you wanna grow your business. I want you to go here if you're real early and we need to get you on board and acclimated to how to start that business, right? So we should have a website set up where we're directing people, and then we have another group of people that are helping, right? And so in talking to Paul, I said, we gotta do that. So in the next, I don't like long periods of time. I like doing, like say we're gonna do something, and then we get it done, right? We've got to do it the right way, but say we're gonna do it, and then we have something to stand up. So let's say 45 days, right? And so we have funding to pay for all of that. Okay, so there's no real reason that we shouldn't do it and get it done. If everything works out, we'll have an intern for you. He's still got to impress me a little bit. I'm just meeting him today, but Dr. Ikioku sent him. So for the rest of this semester, we'll have a direct internship to help us specifically with this, all right, from the School of Business. All right. And Ms. Dennis and I are working on, what's the name of this school?
Prime Time.
Prime Time. And we're actually, what all are they doing?
So this is the store that's right next to the dorm. And they're getting some facade improvement, painting, pressure washing, replacing the lights and landscaping. Because that store bothers me. When I come down the street, it's next to the dorm, kids go there, people in the community go there. And we want it to look nice. So that's where the facade is being done.
So, like, these are all things that we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it quickly. Now, the question is gonna be, why are we doing this? Right? Why am I coming from the Jack's Chamber and wanting to do this? It's a question to the audience. Access.
To being able to attend the different workshops. It might be closer to where individuals live. Also, Jack's Bridges is very time intensive. You have to pay for parking. Just a lot of additional dynamics that go into going downtown for trainings.
Okay.
Invested in the community.
Yes.
Making connections.
Yes. Okay. Now, the most important reason that we're doing this as an organization is because our job at the chamber is to grow Jacksonville. It's not to grow just downtown or the beaches or Bay Meadows. It's to grow Jacksonville. And what happens is in the northwest part of Jacksonville, you really don't have any small business support. So you do have to, I mean, downtown's not that far, but you've got to go downtown or you've got to go to the Small Business Development Center. And I've told George this, if you can have this type of participation, I can get those people to come here on a regular basis. Now, the key is, can we get this type of participation all the time, right? Now, it can't be all of you all the time, right? So it's gotta be each of you saying that there's value in supporting what George is doing if you're a small business owner. And at this time of day, if you have, if you want counseling, or if you want to speak with someone, or there's a workshop, there's gonna be resources available here. Not downtown, you can always come downtown or SBDC, but you need to have something here. So I believe if we have some workshops led by, everybody that went through Jack's Bridges, raise your hand. Y'all get them high? All right, so this is these will be the people that will help facilitate whatever it is that we do. All right, so when you see them, you know that there's connectivity, they're a part of the community, they're a part of this group, right? And that's how we kind of build infrastructure and keep it going. And then when you go through, when you're successful, then you gotta do the same thing. And then all of a sudden, we've just got a ton of people and we're building a community to help with small business, right? Is everybody good with that? And so what I've learned, and I'm gonna take as many questions as you guys have in a minute. But what I've learned between the time I was at the African American Chamber and my time at the Jack's Chamber, so it'll be 6 years in May that I've been at the Jack's Chamber. Everybody has the same problems. Doesn't matter what size business, everybody has the same problems. How those problems are addressed is what's different, okay? So when I go to the Jack's Chamber and I know that I have the resources, I know that I have a building that if they say the session is at 5:30, the session is at 5:30. And the people who are handling that session, they are there before 5:30, right? So it's like I can depend on that. So if that organization says we're gonna have this, they have it. And that's kind of what's missing here in the community when it comes to small business. Sometimes people say, hey, we're having a workshop, and we show up for the workshop and nobody's there. So next time they say, oh, this is gonna be our best workshop, we're not going, right? So it's like the resources themselves have to be dependable. And then once those resources are dependable, then all of us have to use them. And then once we use them and have success, we gotta come back and we gotta say, hey, Ms. Dennis, I really wanna thank you for working with me on that business plan. I don't like business plans, but she will work on the business plan. And I was able to get a $1,000 loan. Now you might think that's not that much, but that means the world to her to know that she put in all of that work and helped you secure funding, right? Or that she brought a guest speaker in and it was a great workshop, you were able to use it, okay, to establish a relationship that led to a business opportunity. We need to tell her that, right? So when we tell her that and someone says, you know, you only had 4 people in that workshop, I don't think we should do it again. Well, yeah, we should absolutely do it again. 2 of those people got contracts. But if you don't tell her that, if you don't tell George, if you don't share that success, guess what? That workshop goes away. So my whole goal is to help George as much as I can. We've got some resources. We're doing all of the things that we said we would do, okay? But we gotta do more. And we can only do more with more people, okay? And so I'll close with saying, in speaking with Paul, we feel like the first session they went through, there was we did a modified version of Jack's Bridges. It was shorter, okay? It was shorter. And then after that, they went into the full Jack's Bridges, which I think it helped prepare you for some of those terms. So we thought it would be a good idea if we do a modified version of that. We don't want to disrupt what Ms. Dennis is doing. This would be complementary to that. And then if I could just give a few people maybe a minute to talk about maybe their experience in Jax Bridges. We'll start with Gwen. You Technology.
Okay, so I'm Gwen Randall. I am the owner and founder of UUU Technology Staffing Company. I'm scheduled to launch probably mid-March. And the purpose of my organization is to bring small businesses, startups, and recruits together, because we have a challenge with the people. So I want to play in that space to be able to make our small entrepreneurs successful. Now, what did Jax Bridges do for me? Jax Bridges gave me, I have a background, but it gave me clarity on how to operate a business, the things that are important when you're engaging with business personnel, and just a new language to speak. And that's important, that we know how to speak the language when we're engaging and looking for opportunities. Also, I think one of the most